Okay, so I am spinning silk. And camera. Stay. So I'm spinning some silk, and this is mulberry silk. This is silk off of silkworms, and it's that purple stuff that you guys have seen me spinning on my drop spindle. This one. This one right here. Okay. So, and when you're spinning silk, one of the things you want to make sure of is that your hands are clean and that your nails are trimmed, that your cuticles are nice and smooth. And that you, like, I've been out in the garden, so my hands are starting to get a little rougher. So the silk is going to be wanting to stick to my hands in weird places. That's just the nature of the beast. Let's get the light over here. There. That's better. So one of the things you can do to smooth your hands, keep your hands in good shape, is you can actually get some hand lotion or cream and some sugar. Not salt, because salt takes longer to dissolve and it's scratchier than the sugar molecule in sugar. So use some sugar and use it to scrub your hands and remove any of the dead. It removes the dead skin, slough stuff off, and then the cream or the lotion helps to moisturize your skin afterwards. And so that's one of the things you can do for your hand care, to spin it. You may notice that as you're spinning your silk that it starts looking like this, like a little nest behind where you're spinning. All you have to do is straighten those fibers out. Just straighten them out, pinch them, and then lightly pull. You should just draft a little bit. That's all you have to do, is straighten those fibers back out. And see, now it's nice and pretty much straight. And silk's a little harder to guide, like the way I do when I spin wool, guiding it from one end to the other. Because the fiber is so long, it's harder to guide it. So I kind of have to sometimes cheat and pinch it off and get it to go where I want it to go. So yeah, just trying to get this spun up, and because I'm tired of looking at it. So I'm excited. Maryland Shipping Wool's coming up. The giveaway contest is coming up. It's not really a contest, it's just a giveaway. And this silk is going to end up being a 3-ply, for those who are curious about that. What I'm doing is I'm moving my fiber over to another peg, trying to keep it kind of even. Adjusting my tension so it's not pulling so quickly. Now it's not hardly taking it up at all. So I just churn it just a little bit, and that works. Okay. I know I'm spinning pretty fast. I can slow it down. Spinning slower, all it does is slows the amount of twist going into your fiber. So you have to hold the fiber a little bit longer to get the same amount of twist as when you're spinning faster. And like I said, spinning is about experience. The longer you spin, the more different fibers you spin, the more experience you have, the more muscle memory you develop, the finer you can spin. And this wheel, I don't have any special, it was designed for speed, so, but I can spin just as fine on this wheel that I spin on this wheel as I can over on the Fantasia, which is considered a beginner's wheel. I spin just as fine, if not finer, on it, and I don't have any special attachments or anything like that. It all is up to the spinner to learn, you know, and it's practice. You have to practice spinning. It's not going to happen overnight. Just like my art, the more I do, the better I'll get, you know. I just can't expect to draw like I used to draw when back in high school and stuff, when I was drawing all the time. I gotta practice. I gotta relearn all that stuff, you know, pencil movements, all that stuff that I used to know how to do. I gotta relearn all that stuff. The same thing with spinning. It takes time. It's a skill, just like any job skill or class you took in college for a particular field. Just, you know, I tell people, do 30 minutes a day. If you can find 30 minutes a day to practice your spinning, whether it's a spinning spindle or a spinning wheel, then before you know it, you will be spinning consistent thicknesses of yarn. And if you keep practicing, you'll be able to say, well, I want to spin some sock yarn today, and get out your template. Look at how thin the singles are on that 3-ply sock yarn or 4-ply sock yarn, and estimate what you need to do for a 3-ply if that's what you want to do. And then let it twist back on itself, and then you will have an idea what it look like with 2 strands of sock yarn. So I'll probably get this like I said, spinning silk. I don't spin it very often because it seems like it takes for freaking ever, because it is such a fine fiber and it has such a long staple length. 2 ounces of silk goes a long way, and that's how much silk this was, just 2 ounces. And this is how much of this stuff I have left. That's just 2 ounces of silk. Because it's such a lightweight fiber, this is probably, 2 ounces of this is probably like having 8 ounces of something else, as far as, you know, yardage is concerned. I can get more yardage out of these 2 ounces of silk than I probably could out of 8 ounces of another fiber, because the silk is so fine. So between spinning the silk, I've been spinning that real light beige llama, and this, and then I've been applying the other bobbins of the alpaca and that I spun. I still need to apply that purple stuff, but I'll get to it when I get to it. So and with the silk, I tend to let the twist travel up into the fiber, because I let it grab it and then I draft it out and pull it that way. That's when I want it to be a little thicker. If I don't want it to do that, then I'll pinch back here and draft. But you kind of have to let it do that because it's such a long staple length. Well, I do anyway. That's how I spin it. I don't know if I can let you guys see what I'm doing. Let me see if I make this smaller, if that'll help. And this is the underside of my desk down here. So as Yana will say, don't judge me. Okay, there we go. Y'all can see my hands now. Yeah, that's as small as it'll go right there. Alright, so I don't know if y'all be able to see. But this is how I'm drafting it. And you see it's getting that little bunched up look. Like I said, all I do is just pinch it here and do a little tug, and it straightens it right out. For those who care about aesthetics. And my bobbin, this is one of my old bobbins before I got my bee retrofitted. So it's a little shaky. Plus I got these bobbins over here on the onboard cape. If I take them off, it's a lot quieter because they're vibrating over there on the wood. And that's why it seems so noisy. Now, see? It's a lot quieter now. And I'm spinning worsted, smoothing the fiber down. I'm not an art yarn person, each to their own. I prefer traditional. I'm not into that long draft and all that stuff, and those lofty and big yarns. I want a yarn. I spin finer yarns. And I want a yarn that is under control at all times, which gives me a consistent spin. Do this back. Let me turn my sideways. Okay. And you can see how the luster of the silk. Sometimes if the light hits it right, you can see how shiny it is. And I roll it as I draft. I also roll it with my fingers, so that gives me a little more twist and even more smoothness to it. Alright, let's see if y'all can see this. Okay. Yeah. So that's a close-up of me spinning. lighting ain't the best in the world. But now you can see it. Right now, let's say your yarn breaks. Wind your yarn back, some of your yarn back off your bobbin so you'll have enough to draft. Okay? So, this is the end. You can see it. It's kind of folding back on itself, but that's the end there. What I do is I spread this apart just a little bit. See? And then I take it, because remember it's a long fiber, and I kind of lay it down in there. And you start spinning. Get the twist going. You see the twist is already picking up these fibers. You just pull a little bit of those fibers with your broken strand. It's like grafting it on. And there you go. And you can't tell where it broke at, and it's stronger than a split splice or something like that, a spit splice or something like that. And I'm not spinning something to make somebody some, highfalutin garment or something. I'm just spinning yarn as a hobby because I enjoy it. It's very relaxing for me. So my yarn does not have to be absolutely freaking perfect. I don't have somebody it's going to sit there and go over that yarn inch by freaking inch. And if they are, they're crazy. Because this is miles and miles of a single right here. But if there are people out there who are that anal, then I feel sorry for them because you're taking the joy out of this art. So, of this hobby. Yardage varies. Sometimes it depends on the fiber, how the fiber drafts. Like this fiber here is very well prepared. It's drafting very easily. Even after it's been dyed, it's not matted or real tangled. It still drafts very easily for me. And so each I could get woven from the same fleece, but it came from different parts of the sheep. And it'll spin differently, It's just, it's an individual thing. Each fiber, each time you spin, whether it's the temperature, the humidity, where you are that day, you could be spinning something like this, and it's like today, it's spinning very nice, very smoothly. But tomorrow, if it's real humid, then it might be really sticky, and it might be just a horrible experience trying to get this stuff to draft. So don't get discouraged. It could be the weather conditions where you are. If your hands are sweaty hands, but this stuff is warm. And that's why I hold it with my fingers loosely. They're open. And I pinch and I release. I'm not just letting it sit in my hand. Now this is a part that has like a little bit of I call it waste. From when the worm was in there, you'll find sometimes you'll get these little hard bits. Don't get grossed out. All you gotta do is kind of like, can you see what I'm doing? You just kind of like do it like that. See how it's like popping off? And it pops right off. You can pull it right off. And then just rub it and smooth that area down. See? And that's it. That's all there is to spinning some silk. You spin it just like you would wool. It's just a longer staple. It's slippery. It's finer. And you're going to think you've been spinning forever. If you spin fine like this. If you're spinning a thick bulky yarn and you can go to town. So y'all take care.